And I'm not going to open the chat or anything because can't.
I can't even get the Twitch chat to load for me.
Okay. Well, hopefully we are back live, everybody. Let's see. So, we're just going to pretend like we are, at the very least for the moment, starting in the upper right-hand corner of our screen. It is, in the purple, MYM's Starbuck.
And in the lower left is our player from the Team Empire, BratOK. Alright, skip ad. It still says it's offline for me.
Does it?
Well, no, we're online. We're live. We're live. We are live.
Fantastic. Hi, everybody. That was a little bit weird. We did a hot switch there. And so far we haven't missed a whole lot. We've got an SCV that is scouting inside the main base of Starbuck, sees that no gas has been taken yet again, also saw that the hatchery was down on the low ground, and so BratOK decided to go ahead and take his expansion on the low ground instead of back inside the main. Meanwhile, this SCV is still just hanging out. We kind of have an entente early game until those Zerglings popped, that is, and now the SCV is running for its life.
It will be able to get out of there though. And looking back at the main base for BratOK, he has taken 2 gases in the main. I'm assuming he's made his command center a little bit earlier in the game here. He's got 3 Marines on the field, so likely going to see him placing down a factory. Yep, there it goes. And kind of similar to our last game's opener here, Ord.
Indeed, and I'm actually locked on to yours for the moment. I'm going to add the at least the title in right now. It's currently 2-1, correct?
Yes. Alright, so sorry for the technical difficulty, guys. We definitely did want to get this up for you, but my computer somehow is unable to connect to Twitch through XSplit. I tried desperately to get it re-engaged in that last game. Restarting XSplit, restarting SC2, nothing's actually working here from my end. So we're just going to roll with it from here. And of course, we've got BratOK versus Starbuck here in the final Zotac EU Cup. And moving into a relatively similar game, except for the fact that Starbuck's gotten his 3rd hatchery down once again. A little bit quicker than he has in the earlier games, where he saw a little more success. But BratOK is once again opting for this reactor tractor. Seems to be the very, very typical opener here in the TvZ matchup for the Terran player.
Yeah, and we're back now. That level 1 this time. It is for the bio units, though. It's being upgraded here. A little Marine versus, what'd you call it, Stegosaurus earlier? I like
yes,
that.
Stegosaurus.
And BratOK getting the stim pretty early as well. We might see him going with a more biocentric build than we've seen out of him in this series so far. The 3rd base is now up for Starbuck, and he's got that Roach Warren on the way as well.
Yep. So he definitely likes to favor his roaches in the matchup, but I'm wondering if that's been just too much of an investment for him, you know, to really get the units that he needs to do the damage to BratOK. I mean, looking at the time in the game here, 7 minutes and 30 seconds. I mean, BratOK should be pretty well prepared for any type of roach pressures, and he's even adding Marauders into his mix. Stim is about a quarter of the way done, and this is definitely going to be biocentric play, without a doubt.
Yeah, now a 10 supply difference. The larva, there are some available, and I wonder what they're going to be with the double Evo chamber out of Starbuck. Is he going to show us something that we haven't seen from him as well?
Probably not. I would hope he's going for something he's comfortable with, because if he's going for something that he's uncomfortable with, well then he is risking 100 EU first place prize and the very great honor of being the Zotac EU Cup champion for at least the next week. He is morphing up to Lair though, so I know he's been favoring mutas in the matchup, but you know, we saw earlier really effective with you know, this Ling Roach Ultralisk style was Infestor play by Snoota earlier game today that we saw. And if you're able to get good fungals off still against a Terran player, you can definitely dominate in the matchup and pretty much establish pretty good map control. But I think the mutas are really what Zergs are opting for to deal with these medevac boost drop play, which seems oh so common these days. But we'll have to see. A lot of creep tumors are being produced all around the map. He's spreading his creep spread out very, very nicely here from both the natural and the 3rd base. And looking at the gas, how much gases that Starbuck has taken in this game, it is only 4 spread out distributed there between the main and the third base. And it looks like BratOK is going to be moving out with some pressure here in a very big Hellion bio army, which will be supported by a handful of medevacs.
Yeah, right now we've got the 10 Marines, 7 Marauders, and 6 Hellions on the map, and the scan goes down. Forward does catch the fact that some Banelings are morphing in, and BratOK, I don't know that he's got enough in this army to take on that. He might not think so as well, as he's already backing up and trying to find a softer spot to do some kind of damage here. Now the Zerglings are rushing forward. Some are trying to go from one side, some maybe from the other. No, never mind.
Well, I do like his decision here to clean up this creep spread in the middle base. This is becoming an ongoing problem for him, because the more vision that the Zerg player has, the more that these types of attacks are going to be spotted well before they are going to be effective. And here BratOK is trying to move back with some more Hellions, but we'll see once again, more and more creep tumors are going to be able to spot him out easily. And look at those creep tumors being very aggressive, moving them forward here. A couple are going to get roasted by these Hellions, and the Lings are going to try to pass forward. Good cancels there on those creep tumors, though, to prevent them from being roasted with the rest of their little spawning buddies. But a hatchery is being placed here for Starbuck on the, I guess we're going to call that the northwest side of the map. Not the far northwest side, but the closer northwest side.
The upper fourth base,
yes.
Think of it as. Meanwhile, we got that Viking that is out there hunting down the Overlord, supply blocking Starbuck for a little bit here, and we have the mostly Ling force out of Starbuck, who's only got 7 roaches on the field.
Yeah, it could definitely be caught by these mutalisks, which are going to be making their way out onto the map very, very soon here. And looking back at the base for BratOK, he doesn't actually have a whole lot of anti-air currently available to him. No turrets in the main base, no turrets at the natural. The third base has just been planted down, but there are a decent amount of Marines on the field, so he should be able to deflect anything that comes in, and it's probably not going to be a definitive kill move just yet. That Viking did get taken out by this mutalisk.
Yeah, it did. And there's no saturation over at that fourth base just yet, but there is some static defense that's going down back in the home base. Meanwhile, the Hellions have been wandering around looking for a soft spot, but the mutas are coming across the map to do some damage themselves.
And they're going to be met in the face by some Marines here. They're going to divert their attention back to these Hellions, which are making their presence felt on the map. And the infestation pit is going down here for BratOK. Curious to see if that's going to be to more up to Hive, or he's actually going to start mixing some infestors into his composition. Once again, or that fourth base has no drones at it too.
Yeah, we got the +1/+1 that's already completed. The level 2 upgrades are on the way for everything, or rather, no, sorry, that's the level 1 upgrade for the mech units. Ground units is on the way, but man, this is a large force that BratOK's got back home. He's pretty comfortable right now. We might end up seeing a split map.
Yeah, and Starbuck is opting to go just for the Hive, not actually using that infestation pit too. Well, never mind. As I said, that he is getting pathogen glands, so he will be looking to make some infestors into his composition here. And I wouldn't be shocked to see him place down that Ultralisk Cavern. It has been what he's favored in the matchup, but BratOK seems pretty well prepared for that, getting his +2/+2 about to finish up, and a lot of Marauders in this mix.
Yeah, and he's trying to find a way to do some damage to those mutalisks. Can't quite tempt them in. Great patience out of Starbuck, who's just going to continue to do some upgrading. He's maxed out, doesn't have that 5th base set up, and actually he's only got the 1 macro hatch too. Interesting.
Well, looking at his larva count, he has 16 available to him, and the Hive has not just finished yet, but it does look like BratOK wants to get aggressive here. And once again, that creep tumors are going to be spotting this out as it's approaching. Mutalisks are going to try to posture in at that third base, but not going to be able to get any damage done with that bunker being complete. And here we go, big flood of units coming in here. Lots of Banelings, but the Marines are pulled back in time. All the tanks are eliminated from the map, though.
And now it's just Mutalisks against Marines, but never mind, some Banelings and Zerglings come in there and finish that up pretty decisively. Starbuck.
Yeah, big victory there for Starbuck in the game, but again, his 4th base is not that populated with drones. His income is slightly better than the Terran player, only slightly better than Terran players, but getting this 4th base could be huge, Ord. Oh.
That command center now finally is resumed by BratOK. Meanwhile, on the northern side, we do have that dropship moving out, but it looks like Starbuck's aware of it. Yep, he's repositioning, and that's not long for the world either.
No. And +3/+3 has started here for BratOK. Looking at his infrastructure back in the main base, he only is on 5 barracks. He's got 2 factories that are pumping out now Thors. And you know what? Looking at the overall supplies here, this is a little bit of a worrisome position here for BratOK. But if he's able to get something done with his dropships, who knows what could happen here. But again, the Overlord spread, the creep spread here from Starbuck, he literally sees almost the entire map. And oh my gosh,
the Mutalists are arriving on the right-hand side, and they're going to clean this up completely as well. BratOK still under 100 supply, 32 Zerglings in production. That's going to max out Starbuck again, and desperately trying to set up a 4th base. Doesn't look like he's going to be allowed to. Zerglings and Mutalists and Banelings all rushing in here with the command center flying overhead, and actually some Marines are left over afterwards, but Starbuck, actually, if he pushes in here, probably a bad decision for him. He's going to lose more than is worth it. Just this whole map is purple. He decided to be purple this game because he wanted to remember to get purple everywhere.
Absolutely, and Greater Spire and Ultralisk Cavern afforded to him to decide however he wants to take his tech. And I think the decision to go for Broodlords may be the better one than Ultralisk, considering the fact that, you know, there is good upgrades on these bio units. He has not seen the fact that the +3/+3 is done yet, but again, that drop to the upper left-hand corner was just taken out. There are a handful of Marines here, down here to the right, but they're really not going to be able to do that much. Queen is going to fall, though. Small victories here for BratOK in this game, but looking at the overall supplies, once again, it feels like with Starbuck's number and swell of units and the bank that he has behind this, he should be in a pretty decent position. BratOK is not giving up just yet.
Yeah, and the drop over on the right-hand side never did really get cleaned up, but also never really accomplished all that much. Finally, Starbuck moving over and taking some decisive action against it. And BratOK, with the current income rate, he's got 61 harvesters, but he's stuck on 3 bases. He's really going to mine himself out quite quickly.
Well, I don't know, Ord. What can BratOK actually do to come back here?
No.
He's going to have really good micro.
Yeah, he's got to have some ghosts mixed in there and just have them all over the place, and maybe
he is
get
getting
some...
a drop off the far northwest side of the map. Small victory. Going to get a cancel on that hatchery, but now that Ultralists have joined the fray, they've got pretty good upgrades in this +3/+2 armor. BratOK has just now tried to establish his 4th base. The creep spread has not. They're seated ever so slightly too far. Scans forward, sees that the Banelings and the Lings are out there, but once again, he's going to have the best spread in the world and be super cost efficient with these units.
Yeah, and Starbuck is still maxed. He's just doing upgrades right now and banking up. He's got 36,000 in the bank, 3,600 rather. Ultralisk moving forward, Mutalisk over the top. Really can't even capture all of this destruction on the screen at one time. But yeah, BratOK army die.
Gonna try to boost back here, but the Planetary Fortress is now gonna be under assault by Ultralisk, by Mutalisks, and you gotta think 116 supply to the 199 of Starbuck. This could be BratOK's last moments in this game.
And the reinforcement of 6-7 Ultralisk now is gonna clean up whatever this force can't. I like the fact that this command center saved that one loyal SCV though on the retreat. That was nice of him.
A wonderful pilot indeed.
And Doom, I don't have much else to say, really. I'm sorry, BratOK. It is a valiant effort right now, and he has finally cleaned up enough creep so he can establish that 4th base. But it is rough out there.
I don't know if it's gonna last much longer. He's still trying to do what he can with these drops, but again, that hatchery has not been placed yet in the upper left, and Starbuck is on top of everything here. Decent, small, well, not the best fungal in the world. Is only going to get 2 Marines caught off there. Overlord will fall in the process, but again, these are just small victories. I mean, BratOK needs way more than this to try to get back in this game. He needs Marauder production. He's making 3 at a time, but looking basically at his income, at his bank right now, it's not enough to really compete with the Zerg player who's got 4,000 minerals and 1,200 gas in the freaking bank. Big Fug will go down on the eastern side of the map, and to the lower southeast side too. This hatchery is going to get canceled, but these are basically just free bases for Starbuck. He's saying, I'm afforded the luxury of doing these because I have so many minerals, and as long as I just you know, keep you confined to 3 bases only, destroy your 4th base over and over again. He's gonna have victory in this game, and here we go. Ultras crashing in, big fungals going down on all the biological units here, and the planetary fortresses once again under assault. Mutalisks are doing a great job of cleaning up everything that doesn't shoot upwards, and the bunkers are not gonna complete in time. Even if they did so, Ord, how much would they have actually done? Mutalisks now pushing forward here, taking out the tanks, which are the only real threat to the infestors, to the Ultralisks. And I do get the feeling we may see GG, but BratOK maybe just extending this out here, trying to make Starbuck a little bit frustrated, maybe just make him a little more tired. But regardless, this does appear to be it. And it looks like we're going to go to a game 5, man.
Slowly but surely following the GG. Starbuck wins.
Game 5?